it's not an ice cream maker. This is the Camtono Beskar Safe case, however you want to describe it. We first saw this way back in the Empire Strikes Back with Wilro Hood character, who has now become incredibly famous, seeing him and all his millions of followers, maybe not millions, a little bit exaggerated there, but all his costume and cosplayers following him and reprising that role. This has slowly over the years become such an iconic prop, and we really haven't seen any, actually I don't think we have seen any kind of prop replica or licensed item made from any Star Wars entity. Finally, we have this coming from Disney, specifically through Galaxy's Edge and Doc Ondar's. I did pick this up at Shop Disney, or through Shop Disney, after it was available. Unfortunately, I tried picking it up the weekend of Celebration when there were rumors this was going to drop, but then they told us it wouldn't drop until the evening during Star Wars night, but I didn't have tickets for that night. And then I think there were even more issues and complications and miscommunications where it didn't drop for another week, and only I think one person was able to actually buy it and have a quick review of it. Anyway, I've been out of town, finally got to opening this, and the packaging was super minimal. It just came in the shipping box and it was wrapped in plastic and came with the instructions. So let's take a quick look at those. The instructions are super simple. All you really need to know is how to operate it and open and close it. So here I'll just go through it real quick. There are some minor lights that do function when you try to unlock it and open it up. At first it might seem confusing, but once you are able to get into this reset password stage, it is pretty simple. So with that, all you do is press this light button here for 3 seconds until it flashes, and you can set your combination. And before I actually open it up, let's get a quick look around. I've seen a number of people actually already weathering this, and although it's not an entirely clean item, they have weathered it a little bit, so it looks pretty decent. It looks like something that has been in use, so I'm actually not that disappointed with what Disney has done with the overall weathering. And mostly you just see some like brush strokes here and there, some smudges, and you would almost think that this was a used product with the way they did it, but they actually did a pretty decent job. Of course, it's not going to be something so weathered and so out there that it's going to really stand out. You can actually from a distance think it is a clean item. But there are some people that they kind of inspired me to get to weathering this, so I will have another video of it as well soon. But at least I wanted to look at this, how it came straight from the packaging. And overall, the designs aren't too crazy. It's actually pretty minimal, but really cool. I like all these small details here and there. And the colors are pretty basic. We just have some grays, whites, this black panel up here, and then the light area is clear. And on the bottom, there is a essentially like an on-off switch to make it function. You just switch that on and it'll work. When you switch it off, you won't be able to function it at all. A quick look at the top here. Let me go ahead and open it up. Now this one will only turn completely, or the knob will only turn completely once you enter in your code. And it's a combination of 6 presses or buttons, and as you saw, oh, what do we have there? We have my Beskar in there. Beskar is not included in this, and this actually tipped over when I was moving it over to my table. I have these Beskar ingots from OXR Creations in Germany. They are real metal. Go ahead and check them out. I'm not sure if they are still making any more runs, but it wouldn't hurt to inquire about it. If you noticed when I was turning this latch, unfortunately the one of maybe 2 or 3 downsides to this piece that I wish was a little bit different, you actually have to hold this with 2 hands. You can't simply turn it on its own. When you're closing it, you can, but when you want to actually open it, you have to hold it down. Otherwise, when you try turning it, the whole Camtono will turn itself too. Now, in order to close these doors, you also have to switch it back into this main position. Otherwise, they won't lock in place. So once you do that, you can go ahead and close each door. It is pretty loud, so they do snap and lock into place pretty well. And once again, or actually, let's try to open it. See, it is locked. So let's go ahead and open it again. Like I mentioned, it is a combination of 6 switches or presses. Hold it down, open it. And this door doesn't go down all the way. You do have to kind of guide it. The others do fall down pretty well. And the other item or the other issue I was mentioning, the doors are a little bit loose. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be like that. I don't really see a way to tighten it. I might play around with it, or maybe if I can add some glue somehow to tighten it. It's not a big deal, but you just have to be careful that you don't push these too hard or push it one way or another to damage it. The doors open up pretty nicely. Let me get back so you can see just how much they do open up, and you can see right through. And you can put in quite a bit in here. There's actually a lot more space. Of course, these walls are pretty thick, but that does hold the integrity of the whole thing. So I do have a stack of the 4 Beskar ingots right there. My measuring tape real quick to see how tall the entire thing is. I didn't actually pay attention when I was purchasing it how tall it is. From base to top, it's about 12, a little under 12.5 inches. And maybe from the actual storage, I'd say there's about 7.5 inches of storage by, I guess right in the center, it'll be about 5.25 inches. And down here, it kind of does slope in a little bit. It's not going to be something you use as an actual safe. Of course, as a prop replica like this and as a display piece, it is pretty cool. When you do have the doors open, it does take up quite a bit of area here. If you do close them, close 2 of the doors and just have one open. Actually, like I just mentioned, you were supposed to close this latch first. I guess you can still close it. I hope I don't like break it or anything, but yeah, you do want to close that. And I don't think you can, let me see what happens if I try to open it. Yeah, so if one door is left open, you can't open the other 2. You have to go through it, go through the process again. And this does light up green here. And there's a red light inside. That is pretty much it for the electronics. The cool thing is, I actually never noticed this before. I hadn't pressed down on it. These pads inside are actually a softer foam. Not too soft, but if you do press down on it, they do squish a little bit. And they have that beige sandish color. The inside has a little bit of a mix of some weathered areas here, gray and darker gray area. Not too monotone, it does have some contrast to it. And then some black and gunmetal streaks here. So overall, it's a pretty cool piece. I am actually really happy with the overall design and paint job. Like I mentioned, I guess there are only 2 issues. Well, technically 3. It's the latch having to hold down the whole thing to open it, the somewhat loose fragility of these doors, and then when this one comes down too, not coming down, does stay right there. Whereas this one, I guess if you do hold it up there, it will, but when you first open it, the other 2 do drop all the way. Close this up. You can close the doors. There you have it, the Camtono from Galaxy's Edge. Super simple design, really cool. I'm really happy with it. I know they are sold out at Shop Disney right now. I don't know if they have any available at Batu West or East, but just keep an eye on Shop Disney, or if anyone does go to the parks, or if you know anyone that does. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like my video, follow me on social media, and stay tuned for next time.